Civil 3D is driven by objects that are created with data. The appearance of that data is controlled by the style associated to the object. So, what is an object? Simply put, an object is a dynamic block. Blocks and objects share similar behaviors. Like blocks, objects can be placed on one layer. If you turn off the layer that the overall object is placed on, then the object is turned off, just like a block. Also, blocks and objects contain lines, arcs, points, and whatever else may be needed to create the object. Select a contour on the surface in your drawing, and then right-click and choose Edit Surface Style. The Surface Style dialog box appears. Click the Display tab. This is where you control the behavior of the objects that make up the surface. For example, you can determine which objects are placed on which layers, and whether they are on or off. You can also control the line type and color of those objects by layer or by style. Like a block, the lines, arcs, and hatches can be controlled and placed on individual layers themselves. But unlike a block, those lines, arcs, and hatches are grouped to their respective item. Therefore, you cannot place one of these objects, like a line, on one layer and another line on a different layer. No, all similar objects must reside on the same layer. As your data changes in Civil 3D, so will the objects associated with that data. Depending on the style assigned, you may or may not see the change to your object right away. If you've set the style to no display or boundary only and the data changes, the objects with that style that are affected would not visibly change. To see the changes of the object, you would need to change the object style assigned to the object that changed to a style that would reflect the changed data, like contours 1 foot and 5 foot. But rest assured that your object will change in relation to any automatic changes in its associated data. The advantage to this is that there is no need to recreate your object just because you had to change the direction of your alignment, or removed information from your surface, or added a new region to your corridor. Once you make a data change, the object updates right along with that change, or it updates when you tell it to do so by selecting the Rebuild option for that object. Not all objects rebuild automatically. Some, like corridors, can be set to rebuild automatically or when you tell it to rebuild. There is a necessity for this, as you do not want your corridor constantly rebuilding every time you add in a new region or change an assembly for a region. But you do want to see the end result when you're done editing the corridor, so in this case, you would not set your corridor to rebuild automatically. Rebuilding takes a great deal of processing power, so if you plan on making multiple changes to an object, it is recommended that you make them all at one time and see the end result after you made all your changes, rather than the instant you make a change. The important thing to remember about objects is that they represent actual parts of your design, and they can dynamically interact with each other in most cases. Gradings may or may not interact with other objects, depending on if they are in the same site as those other objects. Learning to understand these objects and work with them along with their corresponding styles, label styles, and settings is a key component to Civil 3D.